Hello and welcome everybody. Today is our second meeting with Q&A on Neuro-Composition course in February 2022. So welcome everyone, and I hope you had the chance to watch the second video. This is mainly dedicated to the second, but if somebody has questions about the first, or if they watched the third as well, you're welcome to ask questions. It is recommended that you watch at least one video a week, per week, one lesson. You can do 2 lessons per week and review as much, depending how much time do you have. And I'm just reminding that at the end of the course, you have to submit 4 drawings for your homework. And this will give you the certificate at the end. I will give you a review of 4 drawings and a certificate with this. So now, welcome Jody, Cheryl, Wendy, Christine, and I invite you to ask any questions. You can unmute or whatever you want to. I can, if you want to type or just talk, go ahead.
I have a question. So I have like 3 questions, but I'll take my turn. Let's see which one. The first one, when Anna is doing the drawings to show us examples, and then she'll say, okay, I'm going to go back and round these later. Like, I'm like her, right? Where it's like, got to go back in and round. So for any, it sounds bad. Like if I'm taking my notes and I draw a diagram, should I be going back and completing in my notes in addition to my practice? Like, have you had that question? Like some concern, like I'm leading unfinished business, right? So I thought I'd ask.
That's a very, very good question. So the rule is that from Professor Pavel Piskaryov, his rule is that if you're doing the catharsis, you need to round everything. And if you're doing any other drawings, you don't have to round everything perfectly. But this is, again, very personal. He's a driven person. He has a driven personality. He's a leader. He wants to have these corners. He wants to have conflicts because he's moving ahead with huge speed. Me, myself, I love to round everything. Anna also likes to round everything. And we would have calls after the classes, and she would be sitting there rounding, and I
suspected.
Yes. and I will take my drawings if I have to wait for my daughter, like take her to a class, and I'm there rounding. So it's up to you. I've seen different people do different things. See how, if you are generally okay during the day, you don't notice anything that distracts you, and everything is smooth, then you're fine. There is a point when you do so many roundings that you reach the point where everything is fine, even if you don't round everything, even before that you had felt that need to round it before. At some point it will stop, and the reason is we need to have resources to overcome problems, fears, blocks, anxieties. And what are those resources? Those resources are love. Main resource for us is love for a human being. And how is love represented by circles? And roundings are representation of these circles. We need also connection with other human beings. We are social creatures. We need those connections. And roundings, the other meaning for roundings is to connect connections. So colors are a representation of beauty as well, of this creativity, which we also need, and we draw resources from there as well. So if we go even to this path, then you will have to complete everything depending on how much resources do you need. If you have healed already enough from your past, and everything starts to align for you, then you will not need as much for that. And every topic also will require different resources as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go. If somebody else have other questions, or Jody can finish her other questions. I think she had 3, right? You can go ahead.
Right when my dogs start losing their mind.
Okay.
I'll see if I can get the question in, and then I'll mute. So I'm having great resistance to doing the neuro lines on triangles to soften them. I think it's the messiness of it, or when I'm going in and rounding, I have a hard time with the little bubbles. But then if I fill them in, then it makes big jaggy things, and then you have to thicken the line. So I think I'm going back to the basic user course and just rounding the triangles and doing the neuro lines. But I was like, I guess my question is, because it's always, how does it make you feel? But my question would be, has overall anybody felt like it's been more effective to do it in a certain way, like basic user course or composition?
So I can tell you, I've seen different approaches, and it will be different for everybody. What happened to me, I was terrified from triangles. When we started, I couldn't even draw one triangle. And I just did catharsis on my fear and my anxiety. And afterwards, I did one composition with 8 triangles just to be able to draw triangles. My topic was getting to draw triangles well, and I did the composition, and after that it was less intense, less stressful for me. Now it is now it is good. I think the breaking point was when we reached the neuro goal, so it's algorithm number 8. I think at this point, everything was already well with triangles, but you don't have to do triangles during neurocomposition. You can avoid them, or you can experiment. Of course, everything is experimentation. So are you afraid of the boldness when you do round them, make them wavy, and they become bolder? But
probably. That's, I mean, I think you nail it right there. It's
right,
like,
because
okay, I'm gonna put this here and kind of like give it some energy, but I don't want to be like, I want to be responsible, right? And but not be like, so much power and energy, I'm not ready for that. So
okay,
yeah.
So one of the tutorials from the basic user course that Anna is doing is with triangle and circle. She's just adding some thin lines around them. See how she does it. Maybe this will be something that you will resonate with. Adding circles, like you did this already, I think. Adding circles on the triangular points, the 3 points, just not the same circle. Maybe one is bigger, the other one is connecting that whole triangle with a circle. So inside, or not entirely inside, but just overlapping with a circle. And what else? colors may bring some also harmony if you don't emphasize the whole triangle with the color inside, but just play with the shading a little bit. And I know your neural lines are very fine, very beautiful. And so you will just have to find the balance there for you. If you don't want to do it or not ready, you can totally skip the triangles for now. Don't worry. As long as, so the purpose of this is for you to experience the energy. If you draw the triangle, what changes inside of you. And this is like learning the taste of the triangles. And then later on, when we get to NeuroGo, you will be able to utilize them for sure.
Great, that helps.
Okay. And third question?
Let's see. So affixing. We're so used to doing the circle. And then I don't think I've seen different shapes, but I was wondering, tell me more about using different shapes to affix, basically, because I was just wondering if it's, brings the same energy as the elements, like the basic elements, or what does it do to infuse like more energy, or I think of it as putting a stamp on it, saying, declaring it, right? So tell me more.
Right. So affixing is what gives you the makes you go toward the end result, because it's not just, we are not drawing just for the sake of the drawing. We want the results in our life, and we need to get aligned with those results and give our mind the direction to where to go. And then our mind is like a servant. You tell him it what to do and it will make it happen. So it likes to have very clear, even if it's it doesn't have to be harmonious sometimes, but it has to be clear, bold, and active. So through our eyes, the information gets into our mind, and it is able to do it. So the difference, if you do it with triangle or other shape, it will depend on the meaning. That it's the same. You make it bolder, you make it more attractive, you make it by adding more bright colors, or by adding thicker lines, or putting it into one of the focal points, power points, and it will help you make sure that you're going into the direction you want to go, and not to be confused. Okay, so I calm down, I feel good, but now what? And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what it needs to be done for now. But then later on, you will do another drawing for moving forward. Did
that
I
helps
answer?
A lot.
Did
Yeah.
we answer the question? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Great questions. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have, do we have anybody else? Wendy?
Yes, I've got a couple questions.
Sure.
One of the shapes is square. Is a rectangle a square, or do you
Yes.
literally mean a square?
Yes, rectangle is a square, so we should call it a rectangle, not a square.
Right.
But I don't know the reason why Professor Pavel Piskro makes it emphasize the square. I don't know why, but
well, in art, they typically say you can draw anything with a square, a circle, and a triangle, and I expect he's building off of that. But yes, you're right. technically.
Platonic solids, I think he tends to, yes. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Now, I don't know. I'm taking so many classes, it's hard to keep track, but I believe it was in the 9th class. Anna stopped drawing her neurolines to the edge.
Yes.
And those of us who had gone from basic to the 9th class were
Very
freaking out.
confused.
And she said, don't worry, you'll figure all that out sometime in the 2 through 8.
Mhm.
So as of today, where we are in this class, should all of our neurolines go from edge to edge?
Okay, Wendy, I'm sorry, I'm gonna mess you up even more. I watched Professor Pavel Piskaryov last week teaching the basic user course. Like again, he's also teaching it live like we do, like I do. And so he did not draw the lines up to the edge of the paper.
Oh,
The
no.
reason, yes, the reason he explained, because they asked him, why do you not draw? He explained that it's never ending, and I imagine that it's not ending, and in my mind it's not ending, so that's how I draw. But to tell you, in his book, which is officially published in Russian, like 2 years, a year and a half ago, his explanation there is that you draw the lines till the end. So the method is evolving constantly. And the personality of Professor Pavel Piskaryov, again, I'm going to repeat it. He's a leader. He's active. He's very potent and very powerful to receive this information and to be able to bring it to the world. And so he needs this active way of moving in the world, even confrontation. He's not afraid because he grows through confrontation. He just goes through it and makes it happen. And in the course for NeuroGo, where you were, we are also trying to make us move toward the goal faster. And this is his way. We are basically learning his way. But this is how he sees to be more active and to be shining and to be a star, and doesn't matter what is around you. With neurolines not going to the edge of the paper, what you do is you're focusing only on in the middle, only on the some area, and you are disregarding your environment.
Right.
So if you want to be connected to your environment, because there are resources there as well. And I believe, again, I will repeat myself, that humans are social creatures. We need this environment. We need to communicate. We need to have contact. For me, makes more sense to pay attention to the entire field and the background and connect the lines to the edges. This is how I feel.
Right. And that's how I had envisioned it before, was that, you know, that your neurographic, your insides, I mean, we're looking at this microscopic, tiny little snapshot that's completely surrounded by neurons and neurolines everywhere. And this is just this teeny little picture. So everything is going to the edge because it's not the end of it.
Yes.
But I guess in neurotiming, we were doing, it was different because it wasn't as much a picture of our neurons as it was this timeline.
Yes.
Move forward, which was very different than.
Okay, yes. Neurotiming, and then NeuroGo also. he draws, we draw our goal in the center or somewhere in the picture, which we need to be focusing on, and it needs to lead us toward the goal. So we disregard every other distraction and we go toward the goal. And yeah.
It feels more focused and grounded and connected as you're describing it when the lines go to the edge. But it just occurred to me.
Very good. Yes, very good. And that's great that you're thinking about it. And now experiment for yourself. What effects does it do for you? I like when I connect. I like to have the lines go to the edges, and it makes me feel better. And but maybe what is it for you? How is it for you?
Right. Yeah, no, I like it better that way too, but I was just curious where we were in that. Okay. One last very practical question. I know I can find this somewhere else, but maybe you know off the top of your head. In the video, what pen is Anna using?
Okay, one of the pen, she's using one of them. I think it's just gel pen size 1.0, and it's called Sakura or Sakura. I think you can, she got it from Amazon.
Okay.
Sakura, if I'm not mistaken. I will double check and can, if you send me a note on Facebook, I can send you the link to Amazon where she purchased them. I don't see them right now here.
It seems quite a bit, I typically use Pitt pens, and it seems quite a bit more fine, but she doesn't seem to be having.
No. Okay, so it's Uniball.
Uniball, okay.
Uniball 1.0. And this is the gray Uniball Signo.
Okay, great.
This is a gray one, but she's using the black ones as well. That's what she's using. Yeah, this is the black one.
So if you use that, then you still just use a marker when you're making your fixation in your
I would, yes, I would, because this is relatively too thin, unless you use a pencil, just black pencil, and do it. And it will depend whether it's bold enough, so you don't want to be see-through if you use a pencil.
Right. Okay, great. Those are all my questions.
Great, Wendy, thank you. Okay, very good. And who else? Okay, Christina says, I just finished the basic user and about to purchase the bundle with 8, but wanted to hear from you about what is taught in those 8 courses, please. Okay, so I have a video that I explained about, I had a presentation where I explained about all the 8 algorithms, and I will send it to you. We go through, it's designed to take you from understanding, going deeper in different aspects with Neurographica. So first 3 classes are first 3 courses are Neuro-Composition, Neurocolor, and Neurosketching. They explore kind of the tools of alphabet and the tools for not the basic, but how to operate in Neurographica. And then we go out for neuromandala, neurosynthesis, and neurocontact, which explore inner world, harmonizes, so mandalas harmonize environment and inner world. We harmonize body, mind, and spirit, and we harmonize relationships. And the last 3 are neurogoal, neurotiming, and what was the last one? Neurotiming is the last one. Neurogoal, before that. And what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting one. So the third, so those are about giving us the power to move forward. So with all that we harmonized and clean and the tools that we gotten, we move forward to make our life working. So be more productive, be more effective in real life. So there is a lot of coaching, and in those exercises, if you take them in this sequence, you will be experience a huge transformation. Every one of you, whoever takes them, it's especially if you have a case, like if you have a case and work with one or maybe two topics through the entirety. And of course they can change, right? You never know, but if you have something that you want to achieve, it will move you forward, but everything else will start changing as well. Not just this one topic, but everything else. And even if your goal is personal transformation, they are designed to assist you beautifully through those months. What else did I want to say? I think, and I will send you the video. Just remind me, please send me, I'm gonna write it down to send you this video. So just, okay. Good. Thank you for the question. Glad you're here. Okay. So anybody else? If you have any other questions. Yes, Cheryl. You're muted, Cheryl. Sorry.
Okay, am I okay now?
Yes.
Okay, when we're doing a topic and you know the diagonals going up is increase, going down is decrease. And my thing or concern, because I want to do it properly, is the things that I want that I increase as I'm going up that line. And then I'm doing the neuro lines and connecting and filling in spaces. If I do a color, now I've done my increase and everything I want, but if I do a color that comes down because of the way the neuro lines come, I don't want to decrease, but will it? You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. So it creates a different, colors create powerful flow as well. Even though you say your neural lines are going this way, but colors are also going with neural lines. So if you cross them, they will create barriers. And of course, it very much depends how you do it. And it will depend how you feel inside and what is the reason that you are adding it. Is there a reason? You need to ask yourself, why do you add it? For me, it looks like barriers that needs to be overcome. And they may be unconscious. They are usually on emotional levels. And just playing with adding circles for more resources around the main composition in the environment and processing more. And you also can do a little catharsis inside your drawing. So either in a triangle already that is bothering you, or inside a circle, or just somewhere, and then make a circle around it. Do not do it very big and do not do it very long, but not very intense, but just a small quick catharsis. And then put a circle around it, or inside of triangle, or somewhere another shape. It can release some energy. Or you can get another piece of paper, separate, small piece of paper, do the catharsis separately if you don't want to overwhelm your drawing. and do the catharsis separately and then come back to the drawing. If you decide to do the catharsis on the same drawing, choose a thinner pen. Do not do it with marker, like black marker. You can choose a thinner pen, or even if you have lighter pen, something that is not as intense. And because it will be a lot of roundings with it and it will be very heavy, but it will be a resource for you. Once you round this thing, you can start drawing lines from there to support the entire process. And it will be more lines, more processing, and more resources.
So along those lines, say, because I want to redo the one I did for the first drawing to open it up more, and from things I learned from the second composition that I want to make it better. So would it be best if, and I know to go by what we feel, but say if I'm doing something I want on an incline, and any colors around it, keep it with that momentum and then leave the rest blank, because I do not want, as little conflict as possible and as few barriers as possible. I mean, I know we have them in life, but my heavens, I enjoy the less, the less barriers, the
right.
better.
And if you add gentle colors, it's okay to add colors. If you add like fewer lines, because it will be more intense where you're drawing, but in the environment, that's what Wendy asked. Leaving the environment blank will fully focus you on yourself and your own problems. Is it what you want exactly? How does it make you feel? Or do you still want to have this connection with the world, with the other people? And do you need this support and connection? Or do you want to be just the leading figure? And maybe for this particular topic, maybe that's what you need. Not you, but at any time, if
I like the support and the connection. You know, I am very independent, so I've had to learn to accept help or even guidance. Well, guidance I'm much more open to, but I am very, very independent. So it's better for, I love to help others, but to accept receiving is a different ball game for me. So I'm learning that, and it's been a lifelong learning. But I love color, so as long as I could add the resources without causing barriers, that's where I'd be okay, because I want the resources. You know, I think, especially in the topic I'm working on right now, resources is a good thing. Maybe for other things it may not be, but so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't creating blocks with what I am, you know, unnecessarily. So
no, you are not creating unnecessarily blocks with colors. I mean, you need to ask yourself, do you create those blocks, and look at one by one cases. But even if you fill in the colors, the entire drawing, it's gonna be okay. Play with the intensity. So those are different tools. All the tools that you learn in neurocomposition are different options, and you don't need to use all of them to have successful drawing. You can choose and pick. Anna presented you with the bouquet of different options. But see, first thing, play with each and every one of them. So try to play and choose how will it make you feel if you do it like this? How will it make you feel if you do it like this? And then after experiencing those, you can later on use them, and you don't have to use them all at once.
Mhm.
Some of them are enough, whichever, but learning them is experiential through experience.
Well, I've been trying to use less because sometimes I tend to color everything, not all the time, but I'll set it aside and I'll go back and I'll look at it, and it's as if it says, put this color right here, right now. And until you do, I'm going to bug you about it. So I go ahead, and so it isn't just that I like to color it. It's I'll do it without as much, but the color, if this makes any sense, is like, I want to be there, so put me there. And if I don't do it, I do it because.
Wonderful, exactly. Do it every time.
Yeah.
Because colors are healing. They have the energy that you need right now to heal, and absolutely follow whatever the message is about the colors, and disregard what Anna is saying for leaving it blank, and observe later on. Just keep it in mind that it is an option for also possibility, and see, like, be open to it.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing with this second drawing of the same topic, is I'm just doing it a little bit differently and seeing how I feel. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheryl. Great question. Thank you. Good. Okay. Hi, Audrey. Yes,
Hi,
go ahead.
were you gonna say something? I had a question.
No, I was just gonna say, yes, I'm gonna say we have the recording going on, so you can watch the beginning. We had some good questions.
Okay, the question I had, I don't know if it was related to the topic, but I'm having a hard time, I guess, understanding, like, incorporating these rules of composition that we're learning now with the algorithms we learned in basic users course. And like how, like for the homework, am I supposed to do an algorithm and start it like I learned in the users course? And then, like, we're very focused on shapes and things right now. I guess it's the shapes that I'm struggling with.
Okay, so the basic user course was all about this algorithm, mainly on the catharsis. We will learn 3 versions of the catharsis, and it is very useful and very helpful to fastly and effectively remove the blocks, fears, or anything limiting. Now we are moving beyond this. So we move this aside, and
Okay.
now we are playing with different options that we have beyond this catharsis. So catharsis was synthesized, not synthesized, the algorithm 1 out of all the drawing that Professor Pavel Piskarev has done and all his experiences. He found that catharsis works 90% or 80% of the time for everybody. And he moved it into basic course to give people an experience of Neurographica that will always be working tool.
Okay.
He actually started, his first algorithm was NeuroGo, algorithm 8, that we're gonna, this was his initial experience with Neurographica, and then everything else came around. So, but because algorithm of catharsis is very effective, and it is not as complicated as what we are teaching, so there's not as many possibilities, and easy to learn, and he moved it into the first level. So it's like basic too. It's like your knife or your hammer, whatever you want to use effectively and easily. And now in this Neuro-Composition, we are learning the alphabet. of Neurographica, which is opening, which you will be able to express on your drawing the whole sentence. It's not just I have this emotional overload and I need to express it with catharsis and get rid of it. Now you can draw a poem, you can draw a sentence, you can draw, I'm going to have a vacation and I want it to be nice. And you start drawing and exploring how it will be for you, what do you need, looking at resources. It's like self-coaching, exploration with many tools that you can explore, which will bring you the results without getting you limited just to one catharsis.
Okay. So I don't necessarily have to start my piece with neuro lines.
You don't. You can start with, so you build composition yourself. So try and think, for example, a topic. Again, I'm going on vacation and I want it to be nice. I want it to be nice. And what is my goal from this vacation? I want to connect with my family and, or I want to have a 10, whatever is the goal. So in Anna's example, she started with a triangle, which is going on vacation, which is active. Triangles are active. It's like a verb, like an action. And then she added a circle, which is the what she wants to get. She wants to be to get rested, to have good time, to connect with others. So this was a circle. And then she was thinking, what else does she need? She needs finances, money. She needs planning, probably. So how will you, what are money for you? And if they are a good resource and you are not struggling with them, you can put a square. Or if they are, if you have limitations with money and you don't know how to get them, and here we come to, you see limitation, I said limitation. So you can do a little catharsis, you can draw a circle or triangle or another shape and do a little catharsis in there and round it. So catharsis can be incorporated in those if you come up with a limitation, but not necessarily, depending on the level of resistance and you feel.
Okay.
So, and then you add other shapes and you create with neural lines, you connect them so that the connection with neural lines translates it to our brain to be able to comprehend the whole meaning and to make it accessible and for our brain to be able to understand and move forward with it. So.
Okay.
And we follow the rest of the steps. So we follow, this will be our compositions. We add lines into background, we add colors, we add field lines, we add fixation, and then we reflect what is it for us.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay.
How are you doing? Did you watch the first video?
I did. Thank you. I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. Yeah, I notice I like to I draw a lot of lines. I just I don't know if I'm resisting the colors completely, but I just go to town on the lines.
And that's what you need at the moment. And that's not going to be forever. I'm sure, I can assure you. We will go through many transformations and you will explore other things for sure. So be conscious about every line and you draw and just draw lines. It's very good for processing. Lines are powerful because you invest energy in rounding. So that's all you need. right now. Good.
Thank you, Nat.
Great. You're welcome. Okay. Great questions, everybody. I have a list of questions that Anna sent me with her answers, and I'm gonna post them in a file, separate file. I'm gonna divide them into classes as well, but I'm just gonna tell you that this is coming. I just need to edit them a little bit, and this will be available shortly. Maybe not after an hour, but within 2 hours, I should be able to post this one if you want to watch it again. Okay, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask now or later. The supervision for album number 1 is done, and it's posted in the group. I mailed it to you as well. I'm looking forward to your drawings from class number 2. You can submit them to album number 2. If you missed the album number 1, you can submit 2 drawings to album number 2. And I hope it's fun for you. It's a very interesting class, and I hope you enjoy it. Course, not class, but the course. And thank you. Okay, have a nice evening, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next Friday again. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.